Welcome to Brain Drain, the podcast where we think thoughts about things and discuss the thoughts we think. I'm Mercedes.
And I'm Carlos. In this episode, we're thinking about dreams.
So have you ever had a reoccurring dream?
Yes, and it was a very disturbing dream.
Would you care to share it with the class?
So my dream, it was like I was flying over a forest. And in this forest, there was a man who collected people's bodies and stuffed them into the trees. And that's what kept the trees alive.
When was the last time you had this dream?
It's been many years.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, many years. But I remember having that and it was being so disturbed. So, not a very good recurring dream. That and being lost. Like, I would leave my house, go down the street, turn around, and then my house would be gone.
Is that like when you had that dream of being lost, is it the same every time or is it a different type of lost?
Different type of lost.
So is that really a reoccurring dream?
I don't know, but it always felt the same way, just sad. Sad and confused.
Isn't that how you feel in most dreams?
That's how I feel in real life.
All right. Okay.
Do you have a recurring dream?
Not for many years, thankfully. But when I was a kid, I had the same dream all the time. And I don't know why I had it, because as a kid, I never watched like horror movies or anything. I was terrified of monsters, I guess. So I just pretended like there was nothing even about them.
That's a good way.
So like no movies, no stories, anything like that. But it was this dream of this big house. Like we'd be driving by and the car would run out of gas or something. So we would walk up the hill to this house to talk on the phone. And it was like a creepy mansion. So we'd walk in and the door would just kind of open. So we'd walk, and who I was with would always change. It'd be my parents and me, and then somebody else.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be friends, sometimes it would be somebody that I did not recognize. But there would always be at least 4, usually 5 or 6 of us. We'd walk in, and we would close the door and be like, oh, this is a really spooky place, let's look for a phone. We would all stick together, but then like a vampire-like person would come out and would snatch one person up and turn them into a vampire. And so then everybody would have to run away from these vampires. And the order of who would get snatched up would always change. Like, if it was my mom first, or if it was my dad first, or my friends. I never got snatched up, and I was always the last one. But every time I would go and I would hide under the cushions of a couch.
You'd like wedge yourself between the couch and the cushions?
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're saying, yeah.
And that's how it ended every time, with like somebody coming in, closing in on me.
Oh gosh.
And then I would wake up. But I was always like under the cushions of this couch, hiding. Every time.
That's so weird. Could you like predict, like in your dream, okay, this is what I'm gonna do next? Like, or was it always new when you had that dream?
At the time it was always new, like when I was actually having the dream, yeah, it was new.
Yeah.
But then I'd wake up like, oh, I had that dream again.
Yeah. So, have you ever had the ability to like snap yourself out of a dream?
No.
You've never been able to do that?
No. Have you?
Yeah, I've done that multiple times where I go, okay, I'm dreaming, get up, and then I wake up.
There have been times where I've been having a really terrible dream. Like people dying and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I cry and I beg myself to wake up. Like,
oh gosh,
surely this is a dream. Surely
terrible.
This is a dream. But in the dream, I don't wake up. I'm like, oh my God, this is my life now. Like, this is really happening. And it's just like this like anguish.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. And you convince yourself that this is real life. And then I wake up. But I've never been able to be like, oh, this is just a dream. Okay, wake up now.
I'm sorry that you've never experienced that. I have in a dream, like, okay, wake up, and then I'll think I'm awake, but it'll be just a different part of the dream.
Like you'll wake up from a dream in a dream?
In a dream. Like I'll be in like my room, but my room's flipped. and I have like a pool in it. Like, and then I'll be like, oh, well, this is normal. And then just go about dreaming again.
So like you have like 3 levels of dreams and you're in the mid level then?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
So I've done that a couple times.
I haven't like woken myself up from that, but I've done the whole like you wake up.
Transition to a new
Yeah.
dream, yeah. But do you have a lot of nightmares?
I do actually.
I don't have that many nightmares.
And one thing that I've realized, and I've actually been doing some research on, is like why do I have nightmares and like the time that I have nightmares. And I don't want to go too far into detail, but the nightmares often occur before and right at the beginning of my cycle, like feminine cycle. Like, not to go into detail, but it's actually a condition where
Yeah.
a lot of women have this.
Uh-huh.
And I'd never even heard about it until
You just
I was
why am I having nightmares?
because every month for like 7 or 8 months it was happening. I was like, what is wrong with me? And so I was trying to reach out for some sort of information to know I wasn't the only freak out there like this.
Why am I insane? You're not insane, you're just a woman.
Yeah. It's basically what it comes down to. No, not all women.
No,
but
but
it is a thing.
There's a reason behind it, is what I'm
so
saying.
If there's any other women out there, you are not a freak. It's okay.
Nightmares. I've also read somewhere that you get nightmares when you sleep in a cold condition.
My house is very cold.
Yeah, so I don't think that helps at all. Like, if it's cold, you're just more susceptible to having nightmares.
Yeah, my house is like 55 degrees at all times, at least. I mean, do you have a lot of nightmares?
No,
You really don't?
No, mine are just confusing and upsetting. It's like, why can't I do this thing? Why is my refrigerator full of, cotton candy, and why can't I eat it all? Like, it's stuff like that. And then it's all normal to me. Like, in my dream, everything makes sense. Like, cars have legs, and it's like, yeah, of course they do. So.
Have you ever had a dream that it doesn't have to be like a happy dream. It doesn't have to be a nightmare. It can literally be like whatever it is, but it just made such an impression upon you that you still
think about
it. You still like have like, I don't want to say a flashback, but a flashback too.
You just remember it.
Yeah, like vividly though.
I want to say yes, but I can't think of it right now.
Really?
Like,
is it good? Is it bad? Is it disturbing? Somewhere in between?
I think it's disturbing. Like, it's like, I don't remember. I just remember yelling, like an anger yell. And I don't remember why, but I just kind of think about that every once in a while. Like, why was I so angry? So I don't think so. That totally reminds me of a dream I had, actually. Okay, so I was living with a friend, and I would always eat ramen noodles. And, like, I would drain some of the liquid out into the sink. And his mom hated when I'd leave noodles in the sink. And that was just a constant battle between me and her, was leaving at least one noodle in the sink. And so I had a dream that the house was on fire, and I just like so close to dying, and got out of this house. We all got out safe, and we're standing outside, and she comes up to me and goes, "There's a noodle in the sink, and you need to go get it out." And so I ran back into the burning house to go grab the noodle out of the sink. So that was many years ago, and I still think about the noodles in the sink.
That's a great dream.
Yeah, I think that was one of her favorites that I told her about.
Is that one that made a big impression upon you? No, you find it humorous, so you think back to?
Yeah, it's just something funny,
Let's see, one that makes a big impression upon me is I was in a train for some reason. No idea why I was in the train, how I got to this train, but I was in this train. And it was going through like Oklahoma. And so actually I saw some towns that I'm familiar with since, we live in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
Um, and was going through our town actually. And I just remember I somehow walked through I was in like the dining cart, and it was a strange thing. I was in the dining cart. Nobody would make eye contact with me. Nobody was talking. Like nobody was interacting with anybody.
Like reality.
Yeah, I guess.
But this was disturbing.
But it was disturbing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't understand this. And everybody was kind of just like cold, and they just gave off this like vibe or aura.
Yeah, this gloomy feeling.
Yeah. And it's just an unsettling feeling. So I would look outside the window as we were riding, whatever a train does, as we were
Being
going
transported.
on. And like I would just see like these blue wisps, and I was like, what is this? And every once in a while I would think I would see a face in it. I was like, what is going on? So I made my way through the carts up to like where the conductor is,
Yep. Train guy.
Mm-hmm. And as he was driving, and he wouldn't interact with me, and I was trying to talk to him, I was like, what is going on? What are these things? And come to find out, like, at the front, I could see people jumping in front of the train to kill themselves.
Oh, gosh.
And so they were, like, mass suicide by, like, we were going through our town, just jumping in front of this train, mass suicide. And the blue things were their spirits, and they were trying to get into the train to get at me, because I was the one living person. That's why nobody else was interacting, was because everybody else on the train was dead. And they were like, you can't be on the train if you're alive, so you need to die.
Oh, gosh.
And it wasn't like a nightmare where it was like fearing for my life.
It's disturbing.
It was just so disturbing. I was like, what is this? And I think back to that sometimes.
Yeah. Holy crap. That's terrible. Well, do you have a good story now? It made me so sad.
I mean, I'm sure I've had plenty of good dreams.
It's just the more disturbing and the sad they are, it's easier to remember.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, I think when we have fear like that makes us remember them. Because I think I remember more nightmares than I ever do remember good nightmares. Or good. Actually, there's a good one I remember. And like it was so vivid. It was before I went into high school. Like, I don't know if it was stress or something like that. But I had a dream. It was just white space. Like as far as I could see, just white space. And there was a little me, like my little kid version of me. And he was looking at me and I'm looking at him. And like I got down on my knees and I just hugged him. And like it was like, whatever adult me, but I was in eighth grade, whatever. And I was just hugging this little boy who was me. And I was just like, it's going to be okay. That's all I told myself. And so that's a positive one, right? I
would assume so.
Yeah,
positive dream. Last year I lost my dog. But since then I've had dreams of him, and those are they're not sad. They are always so happy, and always, he comes up and he used to do this thing where he would kiss my nose with his tongue, just like boop it essentially with his tongue. And like that's what my dreams are, is him just like booping my nose, and then he goes off to play. Yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And so I remembered those, and those are definitely happy to me.
Yeah.
So it's not just the crazy scary ones.
Yeah. It's those little moments.
And I think it's just, I think a lot of it is, I think probably what most of our dreams are just kind of like this homeostasis type dream, like where you are just achieving like what you normally feel. So it doesn't stick out to you as, it's normal to you, so it's not making an impression. And I think that's what most dreams are, and I think that's partially why we might not remember dreams way down the road.
Yeah.
Like, I know there are times where I wake up and I remember a dream. I'm like, oh, that was a pleasant dream. But then I won't remember it a week later.
Or even hours later.
Yeah. But most of our dreams we do not remember even upon waking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some that you remember upon waking. It's just, oh, okay, that was nice. And then you go on. And I think that's just like, we were already kind of feeling that way anyway, so it's not making an impression. But it's those things that make us really happy and comfortable and just like warm, gushy feeling.
Yeah.
Or those that really like make us really cold and really like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, there's no science behind what I'm saying, but that's just kind of like my theory.
What you feel about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever kept a dream journal?
I've tried.
Yeah.
I've considered it. I've wanted to.
Me too.
I don't follow through with I don't follow through with journals.
Yeah.
Just
recently, I like left a note for myself on my phone. Like I'd woken up and like wrote a concept for a video game. And like when I read it now, it's like, what was I saying?
Oh, I've done that where you wake up and you're like, that'd be a great story, or that'd be
and then you write it down, yeah.
And you're like, yeah. And you're so tired that you're just kind of writing key pieces. Yeah. And when you wake up fully, it's like, what?
Yeah. I'm thinking of like keeping my recorder open on my phone. So when I wake up, I could just quickly say what my dream was and then turn it off and go back to sleep. Like, that'd be so much easier than trying to write, you know? So keep a recorder and just record your crazy lucid dreams. Oh, speaking of lucid dreams, have you ever had a lucid dream?
No, I've tried. One of the things that keeps me from lucid dreaming is a lot of times you have to go into the sleep paralysis first.
Uh-huh.
And that terrifies me, just from like stories I've read.
Yeah.
And so like I get to where I think I'm almost to the sleep paralysis part,
mm-hmm.
and I wimp out. I'm just like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna try it another night.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I've had a lucid dream. It's like I remember I was waiting in line, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this line is taking forever for something. And then I don't know, something clicked, and I go, oh, I'm dreaming, and I flew into the air. And then I was like, oh, I better not fly too high because I don't want to get in trouble. So I landed and got back in line. So that's as far as I've ever lucid dream, was taking control of my dream. But I hear when you do that, it's really hard to keep control of it because you either slip back into your dream or you just wake up. Oh. So it's just a weird edge you have to ride.
So. You know, I think some of the worst dreams I ever have are right before I wake up. And so my body has started to do the waking up process. Mm-hmm. It's coming out of that really deep sleep. But I'm still dreaming. And so it's I'm peeing in my dream. And I can't like ever pee enough. And so it'll be like what to me seems to be like an hour and a half of me just peeing in this dream.
Yeah.
And
your body is fighting it.
It's because my bladder is just so full. And I think those are some of the worst dreams.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah, no, that's up there at the top of like things that I hate when I'm sleeping. It's like you think you're using the restroom, but
that's above certain nightmares for me.
That I have not peed on myself because of that situation, but I've gotten pretty close. I've woken up and like, oh, I need to go now.
I have not peed on myself in adulthood or adolescenthood. I'm sure when I was,
like a child, yeah,
that those dreams led to me peeing on myself. But recent years now, that has not happened either.
Hey, high five for that, huh?
So small victories.
Yeah, small victories. Appreciating those things.
Have you ever looked into dream analysis?
A little bit, but like so many things say so many other things,
Yeah, and the thing is, like, for those of you listening that don't know, my major is psychology. I have a degree in that. And so that is something that my professors were very adamant in, is that, there is no validity behind this theory. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I know it's not valid.
Yeah.
It's still interesting to me.
Definitely.
Like it might not mean anything, but I love the idea that you can analyze your problems via a dream. Yeah. And so it might not be real, but it's one of those things where
it's interesting.
It's interesting to me. And And so I I find it very interesting. I remember in high school, I think you had him as a professor at one point. He was a psychology professor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he he would actually teach some dream analysis.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember those lectures.
And I think that's what really got me interested in it was him.
Mm-hmm.
But
I can't remember any that really stuck to me. Like what things meant.
I remember your teeth falling out was low
self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Okay.
If you were flying, however high you were flying.
Is that what you think of yourself or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Your self-esteem essentially.
Animal room, self-esteem. Driving a car, self-esteem.
I don't know if that's what you told us. Was it? Okay.
No, I'm just making that up.
I remember there was something about going upstairs.
I don't know. Achieving goals.
Was it?
I don't know.
I remember he would also always like tease like certain people. If they dreamt like it was a snake.
Oh yeah, represented.
Yeah.
That. Yeah. Have you ever dreamt about your teeth falling out? I have dreams about that. I would say about once a year, I'll dream about my teeth falling out or them being loose.
I have had like where one or two teeth are loose.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that even though there's no validity behind it, that we can prove that so many people have similar dreams. But like the teeth falling out, for example.
Or flying or
yeah.
And trying to think. What's another like common thing you hear people talk about? Falling?
Falling a lot.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, when you're trying to run and your legs are like noodles.
Can't move, yeah.
Yeah, it's like running through water.
Yeah.
So that. Or when you like try to throw a punch or something, it's like noodly arms.
Or I think it's common, maybe it's not so common, but you'll try and do something with your left side of your body and actually moves your right side. Have you?
I've never experienced that. I could see that being frustrating though.
It's kind of how when you play a video game and your controls get switched. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
And you have to relearn that. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I could see that. If they switch, then you just start looking up and stop moving.
Yeah.
But have you ever had a dream of fighting someone? You don't fight people in your dreams?
Not usually.
I always fight people in my dreams. And I am just like a noodly person. I can't defend myself.
I mean, I did have a dream that I was in a bowl of milk one time, and there was another person in there.
And you wanted the bowl for yourself. Valid.
I don't remember why we were fighting. But there was a reason.
like a physical fight or debating them?
Started as a debate, went to physical.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were in a bowl of milk, so it was like trying to drown one another.
See, and the thing is, like, at that moment, that was real to you. It's like, no, this is real. I'm right. You're going to die in this milk. See, that's what gets me about dreams, is how everything at the moment
seems so logical.
So logical. Yeah,
and you don't question it at all. You're like, okay, yeah.
You're like in your kitchen and your teacher cat is telling you how to change an alternator. And you're like, this cat will not shut up. I know what I'm doing.
Deborah.
Yeah. And then you wake up and you go, what just happened? But at the moment, it is all real, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful stuff. Dreams are great. Dreams are like movies that you direct.
There's a lot of dreams. I assume there's a lot of dreams that impact movies or that led to the birth of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume so.
And books.
Books, yeah. I think everything, you know, video games even.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine in the future if we had the ability to watch people's dreams?
That would be incredible. I assume it would be.
There would be no more movies.
I assume it'd be similar to Harry Potter when they're watching memories from other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. But that's kind of how I think it'd be. But you would have to have a certain, bowl to do that in.
You like dip your face in it like Dumbledore?
Yeah, that's.
Did they dip their face in it? Or did they pull it out and put it in They pulled it out and then tapped it to their temple. They didn't like bobbing for memories.
I feel like Harry bobbed for memories in there.
Did he stick his face in it?
I think so. Because I think he comes out of it gasping for breath.
Dumbledore's like, hey, check this memory out. And he's like, stuck his face in it. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
All right, and so I think that's a great ending point. Just for our listeners to take home with them. And listeners out there, we want to ask you, what are some dreams that you've had that have made an impression upon you?
Yes.
Share in the comments in this message. We'd love to hear from you. While you're at it, just go ahead and subscribe, share this podcast, like our pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you next time.
This is Brain Drain.